Hey guys, Courtney here. I am so excited. Oh my goodness, like the recording actually works now. So I'm excited to share with you a great dear friend of mine. It's been years since we've seen each other, and I'm going to let her share who she is as a person and what she's doing in the world.
Awesome, awesome. So, what's up, everybody? My name is Hadiatu. I live in Detroit, Michigan, and I do a lot. So, I have a home-based business. I also do marketing and public relations for athletes, work with a lot of different nonprofit organizations. I love to live more life. So, I've been an entrepreneur for multiple years because I just always understood that I didn't like the idea of having a boss. And maybe about 7.5 years ago, I decided that adding, an additional stream of income could definitely help me, especially if it was a home-based business. So, I've had a home-based business now for 7.5 years, done amazing things with it, and got to meet a phenomenal individual just like Courtney that we've got to click with. And, one of the cool things about the home-based business industry is that you meet a lot of people that have other skills and traits outside of it that you guys can find a way to meet in the middle and really enhance each other's lives. So yeah, I've got to live my life fully through that.
I love it. And that's the thing I talk about every single day. And I know that there's some clicking going on, so I'm not going to talk much. But people don't realize that you can truly have purpose, you can have profit, you can have a good time, you can work together. And that's one of the reasons why I share with people the network marketing industry, because I'm not in the network marketing industry, but what I see is that there's amazing people in it, and you learn so much. You get the education, you get the continuing education, the personal growth and development, and then on top of that, you can actually make some money. And so tell me a little bit of background. I hear you have a daughter, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm an 11-year-old. It's my stepdaughter, but that's my full-time daughter. So we have her, half the time, but during this pandemic, we've had her 90% of the time. So I got to be a homeschool teacher, which, man, I applaud teachers more than ever before because of this. But yeah, I have a daughter. I've been married for 7.5 years. What else? Yeah, that's me. I donated my kidney to my brother before I started our network marketing. Actually, 2 months after I started the network marketing company that I'm with, I actually donated my kidney to my brother.
Wow.
So it was an inopportune time, but what it did was, Courtney, is it did show me what leverage looks like.
Yes.
It allowed me to see that, you can put your work into something. And it was the first time that I got what I call a sick day, because I've been an entrepreneur for so long. You don't get sick days or holidays.
Yes.
But I ended up being able to get that because of the leverage that's created through network marketing.
I love it. And the people around it, people in that industry, they're just good people. Like, I mean, there's bad people everywhere, but what I've seen is that there truly is a way for you to condense your time so that you can grow. And at the end of the day, I think one of the after effects, and I apologize, guys, I don't know what's going on with the sound, but one of the things I really love about it, and what I saw 6 years ago when I was in network marketing, is that I could not only save people money in taxes by having some sort of home-based business, but I could keep them in long enough to win because of the massive tax deductions around it. And then I could help them keep more of their hard-earned money when they made it. And that to me was like, oh man. But on top of that, the byproduct is you might actually make some money. And so, that's the fun part. It's like you get to go hang out with people, have a good time, learn more about being a better person. The personal growth and development, literally, and I don't know about you, and I want to hear your side of this, but my business was making $9,000 a year in 2014 when I started network marketing. I've been out of the network marketing space for 3 years now, and I help people stay in long enough to win, and I help people understand the benefits of network marketing. But tell your story. I'm sure your PR firm grew massively because of that.
Yeah, for sure. So, when I started, so I do marketing and PR for athletes. And so I have been doing that for years, and I had started my own company with it. maybe about 4 or 5 years prior to me joining our company. And I was doing well. I wasn't doing bad at all. I was doing well with it, making a 6-figure income. But again, there's certain things that you learn in network marketing about yourself that allow you to understand like why you're not making more.
Yes.
And why people react a certain type of way with you. Because I mean, if you think about life, we really stop learning when we're done with college.
Yes.
And even in college, you don't learn about yourself. So you learn the different things that you need for like the ins and outs, but you're like the inner workings of every organization is based around people, and you never truly learn people. And so, our company has definitely flourished through the time. So what I had done was I started while it was the busiest season for me. I put my business down for a little bit. When I say down, I just reduced my workload because I was donating my kidney. So I was able to have supplemental income through our company. And then, I was able to pick it back up. But as I did, my leadership skills were much different. I was able to understand the types of people that I needed to hire to have around me to really make things work and grow the way that I wanted them to. But I also just had like a different business mindset. And I think that that's something that most of us really want in our lives. We're always trying to figure out how to take our businesses to the next level. Well, you got to learn yourself and you got to learn people. And so, we've been able to flourish, still have our business. Actually, I'm starting working with a women's professional football league now. So that's exciting too. So we've been able to, really branch into that, which is huge for me because I am all about women's empowerment. I want us to be able to shine our own lights, with everything that we do. And so, this has helped me with all of that.
That's great. And, the one thing I love about your story, I mean, it's nuts that you can create a residual stream of income. What's really cool is people don't realize that that's available to them. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this and committing to this almost every day, is to share the people of network marketing and what they're doing good in the world. And so you just shared with me earlier what you were doing earlier today because you had some time. So share that with us.
Yeah. So on Wednesdays, it's like free lunch Wednesdays. And we go to downtown Detroit while I'm in town and we feed the less fortunate. And so we'll go outside of like a housing shelter and we do it there. So those are for those that really don't have homes. But then we also go to the bus station. And that's my favorite part because these are individuals that are going to work every day. But, children don't realize that the parents don't eat sometimes just so the kids can eat. Yes. And so sometimes parents are going to work without eating. And what I love is that we're at the bus station. And so we're giving them a quick little lunch. So take this with you to work. And it'll be different things. Like some different chefs in the city will cook meals and we'll do that. And, we always say that I'm a blessing. And so we wear shirts that say I'm a blessing and make sure that everybody understands that sometimes people just need a smile. I mean, we can't really hug everybody like we're used to, but we used to hug people because what I realize is that some people don't even get touched in multiple days, And so because I have free time, like I'll take different people on the team, their children, because they'll be at work. And I'm like, well, I don't really have a job. So I'm able to take their children with me. And, after we do that, I talk to them through it. But I'm also making sure that I sit down with them afterwards and eat because I know as a child, my parents didn't have that time. And my parents didn't have the time to talk to me about money. And so even today, I was just sitting there and we were eating outside. And I said, gosh, I couldn't imagine having a full-time career where I couldn't just sit outside when it's beautiful. Yeah. And I asked them, I said, wouldn't that suck to not get to sit outside? And they're like, yeah, that really would. And I said, well, that's how most people have to live. Yes. Because they haven't found ways to diversify their income and earn some time. Yes. Right. So it allows me to do what makes my soul happy. And anybody that spends time with me knows, like, I just want to be able to help people. I want to be able to be a light to people. And I believe most people have that in their hearts. There's just no time for it.
Exactly.
And so this industry definitely leads you to a place where it feels like you bought hours back because now you have, a network of people that are going to be working when you're not.
Exactly. Well, and that's true too when you get to travel. So, there's the travel industry, and I know that that's you're part of the travel industry. And one of the great things is that you've got to experience a vacation in order to tell people about it. So, that's a pretty good cost of running a business is to spend time on vacation. And you know, and if you're not in the travel industry, one of the really cool things is that there's continuing education events, there's personal growth and development events that you can go on. And, you know, we hired our kids and we pay them. And we just spent the last 2.5 weeks going across country just seeing people and hanging out with them and connecting for profits to nonprofits and just crazy ways of putting our kids involved. And I think that's one of the greatest things is what you just said is having my children with me, seeing the difference that we're truly making in the world.
Yeah, and it's giving them perspective.
Yes.
You know, it's really just perspective is to know, like, you can, like my daughter said she wants to be an oncologist. So it's cool, be an oncologist. And she actually does our presentations with me. So like she'll stand in front of the room. I wanted to make sure that she's also not afraid of public speaking. Since it's a fear for most, I want to make sure it's not a fear of hers. And so, you know, it's funny. She's like, she'll say this in the presentation when she's speaking. She says, I mean, I want to be an oncologist, but why wouldn't I want to make some extra money too?
Exactly.
And imagine if that's what we're teaching just kids on a continuous basis, that like that's the norm. Like we could literally just change what the norm is because she's waiting to turn 18 to have her own business here, you know, and that's what we want for the world. I mean, everybody's talking about they want their kids to be in a better situation. So we've just got to show them there's other ways. So taking your kids traveling around, seeing everybody, understanding that they're saving money as they're doing it. It helps them with their taxes. I mean, I just can't wait to see, you know, what your kids turn out to be after having that opportunity.
Girl, and it's been so much fun with them because my son, I was able to speak at Beyond Leadership with Eric Worre back in August, and my son went with me. And I told him, I said, I need him to come. He's like a prop. You know, he helps and he connects people while we're there. So I need him to come. And so I always take one of my children with me to an event so they can see what we're doing. And they'll record and they'll be a part of it. And he, at the hot seat day, the last day of the event, he literally walked up to Eric Worre and he sat down and he said, I want to be a motivational speaker like my mom. How do I do that? In front of 175 6 and 7 figure income earners. Like he was I think the second person that just walked up and sat down. And so, you know, what I've shown him is what he wants to be, what he can. And you know, it's funny. Somebody came up to him at the event, and we told him that he couldn't leave home. Like he couldn't come back to an event unless he got 50 cards. Like he had to get 50 business cards or collect their name and their email. And so my husband told, he's like, you can't come back unless you have this. And so he was working really hard to do it the first day. And I'm like, buddy, don't like focus on this the first day. I want you to enjoy it and learn. And so what he did, the second day, somebody came up and said, hey, you know, have you got your cards yet? And he said, no. And he said, but I'm working on it. He's a connector. He loves to meet people. And she said, well, I'll give you $50 if you get the cards faster. And he said, you know, I don't need your money because my mama pays me. I work for my mom. And she said, you know, well, why wouldn't you take my money? Like it doesn't make sense that you wouldn't take my money. Like that tells me that your IQ is lower. Like that would make me think your IQ was low. And he came back to the room, and the reason why I share this with you, he came back to the room, he was super upset because he's a nurturer. Like money doesn't drive him, right? And there's different types of people in this industry and all over the world. You've got to understand those different people. And she was a complete action. So he came back to the room and he was upset. And I explained to him, buddy, I said, you remember the personality types, we talked about them, and he's an action, you're a nurturer. And, you know, and he got it and he, you know, figured it out and woke up the next morning. And the reason why I tell you this, I was like busted out crying. He said, you know, Mom, he said, I don't need anybody's money to connect with people. I love to connect with people. And, you know, and I want that to be part of what I do. And I said, you know, buddy, you will never have to worry. Like that could be what you do for the rest of your life. And that is an amazing skill. And because I have sacrificed so much over the years, and, you know, we've lost everything a couple times, you will be able to do that for the rest of your life. You'll never have to work for someone. I want you to be in business for yourself. And, you know, and so that just really hit me that we are truly creating a legacy. You know, I'm doing it with my accounting practice. I just happen to be helping the network marketing industry. You're doing it with the business that you're in. And truly, if we work as W-2 employees, we can't create a legacy. We can't give our job to our family when we die. And, you know, at the end of the day, the money stops unless we move forward and create some way to earn a residual income.
No, that's super true. And you know, what's crazy is that we don't even think about that until a certain age or a certain time in life, right? So I didn't think about a legacy. When I started my own business, I wasn't thinking legacy. I was thinking money.
Yes.
And you know, what made me start thinking about legacy was when I went to donate my kidney, they talked to you about a living will.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to think at 30 years young, the healthiest I've ever been in my entire life. I mean, I'm an ex-professional athlete. You know, I've done all these amazing things, been great. And I'm like, if I left the world today, nobody could touch that 6 figures. Like, it's nothing. Business is completely gone. I'm like, who would even be at my funeral procession? And I know that sounds super morbid, but this was like where my mind was at 30 when I donated my kidney. And I said, the minute that I had to think about dying was the minute that I wanted to think about all the things I was going to do as I live. And I don't know if I would have had that epiphany at that time, but you know, everything works in his time. And I'm a firm believer of that. So I'm not super religious, but I'm a firm believer that there is a higher being.
Yes.
And he guides your steps, and you've just got to be really faithful to follow them. And I believe that, you know, network marketing fell into my lap when it did because I needed it the most. I was literally just chasing money. And, you know, it's great for us to be successful and driven and go get money. Like, that's important. You got to have that in you.
Yes.
But if you chase money, the money runs faster.
Yes.
And I was talking to one of the guys that's in our company who's actually an ex-NFL player. And I was talking to him because we've done different business on the side. And I said, you know what happens to people that become super successful? Like, let's think of like celebrities and musicians, like the people that when we look at them, it's like they have the life.
Yes.
And then you hear they have a drug issue.
Yep.
They're alcoholics.
Yep.
They're abusive. You start hearing all these things and you're like, how is that possible? You got the life. But what happens is that when you become super successful and it's based around money, you keep chasing it. You keep wanting more. It's almost like a drug that you need a new high.
Yeah.
When you find a way to be a part of something that is attached to other people's hopes and dreams, you're different.
Yeah.
And it never gets old. You never feel like you're doing something wrong. The high that you get is off of somebody else winning in life. And I think that's what's so important. And it's exciting to see like what you're allowing people to understand, because there's not everybody that's going to be a top income earner in network marketing. I'm thankful that we were able to do that, but not everybody's going to be able to get to that point. But what if we just got to the point where everybody was learning to make an additional $10,000 to $15,000 a year, but then you also save them an additional $4,000, $5,000, or $6,000 a year?
Exactly.
What does that do for their lifestyles?
Yes. And that's the thing people don't understand. 48% of Americans by age 55 have zero retirement. Zero. And 46% of Americans before the pandemic had $400 to their name. So 69% had $1,000 to their name. So the system wasn't working before the pandemic. I think it was a big eye opener for people, because the clients that I have, you know, I have a wide range of clients. I have chiropractors, I have gyms, I have, you know, plastic surgeons. I mean, you know, you name it, we have it. Dentists, I mean, like, shut down. People who worked really, really hard, who had a lot of student loan debt. I had a lot of employees and some big buildings shut down completely. Network marketers, and I mean, they were calling me crying, like, I don't know what we're going to do. Like, and luckily, I built my accounting practice the same way network marketers do. Like, clients don't come to my office; they upload their documents. So we actually skyrocketed where most businesses were actually failing, and that's what I see in the network marketing space. And guys, I'm not telling you have to be in network marketing. It's a really good option for everyday people. It is something that people, it doesn't matter what color, it doesn't matter what age, it doesn't matter what your education level is. It only takes people who have drive and determination to be a better human. And you care enough about people. Like, the focus on money, that's the thing. It's like, I've been teaching that all day today. So I have been working really, really hard for the last couple of months, because I think it's super powerful and it's a requirement is that I connect for-profits with nonprofits. For-profits are really great at making money. Nonprofits are really great at changing the world, right? So connect the two together. What happens? The for-profits start focusing on a purpose, which is ours. We eradicate childhood malnutrition. We're working with a nonprofit doing that. We're eradicating, we're eradicating sex trafficking, and we're providing safe drinking water for villages in Africa right now. So that's what drives me. It's not about money. It's how much money can I save people every week, which is about $250,000. How many children am I feeding today, which is 8,000 every day? How much safe drinking water am I providing, which is 53 people a day, every day on average? And every 3 days, I'm freeing a child from sex trafficking. That is a completely different ballgame. I'm not focused on money. I'm focused on my mission. And then the nonprofits, guess what? They are focused on money because they need money in order to change the world. It's not a bad thing that they're focusing on it. It's a requirement for them. So how about we connect them together? And so that's what I've been doing in the world. And it seems like we're on the same page. I've literally, in the last 2 days, talked to 5 WNBA basketball coaches and players, and their whole thing is we need a purpose bigger than our problems, that we can bridge this gap and we can help people have a better life. And I think that's what everybody's looking for, guys. It's not just like, let's go to work every single day and do the same job for the next 30, 40 years. It's how do we impact the world? How do we help people? How do we free up money along the way? And that truly is by having some sort of home-based business. Network marketing is just a great opportunity because you get for a couple $100 typically, you can get involved, you can get the right people around you, you can get the personal growth and development that I paid $85,000 to be a platinum partner with Tony Robbins for. Like, I mean, it's definitely worth it, but you're getting a lot of that same content. And so I'm going to stop talking because of this little speaker noise that is going on is driving me crazy. But I'd love for you to share any last words that you have. And I'll tell you, me and her are going to do this again. Me and Hadiatu are going to do this again when it's not clicking and I can figure it out. But, I'm grateful to have you on. You're actually the first person on my new whole series of Why You Be Brain Dead Not to Be a Network Marketer. So.
Well, that's super exciting. I'm grateful that you've put this platform together. It's something that even in my heart, like I've never been in network marketing before. So just so you guys understand, like this was very new to me. And it was something that I was ignorant about. For years, for a college graduate that's worked for the NFL, worked for the Indianapolis Colts, worked for the Detroit Lions, been to every Super Bowl you could imagine. Like all of this sounds like such a great resume. And it always turned me away from being a part of network marketing. And what I learned is that good is the enemy of great. And wherever you are in life, you've just got to be the type of person that's open. And I'm not saying you have to do everything that your friends or family members are doing, but don't do what I did for years. See, what I did for years was I turned my nose up at people and I would say stuff like, go get a real business. And I just never believed in this industry because I never took the time to pay attention. They didn't teach me about it in school. My family all told me that stuff like this was a bad idea. And I learned that you have to pay attention to people that have the lifestyle that you want, the people that are on the same path as you. And so, for those of you that are following Courtney, you're following her for a reason. You understand that she's impacting the world on a major scale. Most people want to be able to do that, don't know how. So you pay attention to the tidbits that she gives you on a daily basis, from accounting to business to family, because those are the people that will take you to your promised land. And I had to learn that pretty much the hard way. I didn't know that. And so I'm just grateful that God humbled me enough to sit me down, because I'll tell you this, Courtney, I can't tell you that I would have been super duper open had I not been ready to donate my kidney to my brother. And this is something that I've told all of my friends. I said, I live in Detroit. I went back to Ohio to save my brother's life, to give him my kidney, right? And I would have never thought in a million years that at the exact same time that God would say, I'm going to give you the gift that you've always asked for. For me personally, in the industry that we're in, I went to school for international business. Mm-hmm. And I did that because I wanted to travel the world and make money. I really did. I knew that in my heart of hearts. And so when I started working within the NFL, I'm like, well, this is good money. I'm doing the things that are okay. So maybe this will work. And I just would have never thought that I would go to save my brother's life and my life will be saved. I challenge you all to do things that are helping other people save their lives, because you don't know what that will turn into. And you don't know how quickly that gift will turn into what you've been asking for your entire life. And so I'm grateful that I got to open this bad boy up. You know, it's okay that we had a little bit of clicking. Champions adjust. We find ways to make it really cool. Next time we come on here, we'll have another theme that we get to talk about. But Courtney, this platform is amazing. People need to see this. People that are, you know, my friends that are making six figures, they got laid off.
Yes.
And when they got laid off and they were making the money from unemployment, it's a joke.
Yes.
$4,000 a month, let's say it's that. That's nothing when you're making $250,000 a year. And so if anything that this pandemic did, it cleaned a lot of things out for us. Our environment, a lot of people's mindsets were cleared, and it forced a lot of people to be more creative than ever before.
Yes.
You know, so there are lives that have been lost, and we wish that it wouldn't have had to happen this way. But you said something that was super impactful. You said network marketing, you know, it doesn't see color. And I'll say this, it sees color. It just doesn't judge around it. Like, it's there, right? Yes. I love the idea that you can be super educated, or you can be somebody that was struggling to get through high school. Like one of my top mentors, like I'm the girl that was an overachiever. He's like, I was the one that made the top half of the class available. Like I did that for them, right? So it allows you to break down any barriers maybe that your parents gave you.
Yes.
Maybe that society has laid upon you. It allows you to crack all of that and get the mentors that can guide you to where you want to go. So Courtney, thank you so much for allowing me to share my experience. I'm so excited to continuously watch the show, share the show with everybody, so more people can understand the power of network marketing, and especially as it pertains to your taxes.
Girl, and I thank you so much. And so I'm going to share this last thing that I want people to understand, even with the clicking. Before the pandemic, the average household makes $60,000 a year, and they paid $14,000 in taxes. Their take home is $46,000. The cost of living in America is $53,000. So that means that the average household is going into $7,000 a year to work 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, to take 2 weeks paid vacation. And when I heard those statistics, that's what shifted me, and I started sharing with people why they need to be in network marketing. Because, see, the thing is, luckily, fortunately, I lost my business 10 years ago. And the guy, I actually sold it. The guy I sold it to stopped paying me after 4 months, and I lost everything. I was $250,000 in debt, and I couldn't afford to file bankruptcy. And my parents got me involved in network marketing, and what it did for me is it was a way for me to rebuild my business and rebuild my mentality and rebuild my self-sabotage, right, to stop self-sabotaging myself. So it got me in front of a really great group of people. And we've gone from $9,000 a year to $270,000 a month, which is, I can't even fathom that. But I want you to understand this, is that I couldn't have even thought that high. I couldn't have even gotten to that place had it not been for the people in network marketing. Some of my very best friends are in network marketing today. But at that time, when I heard those statistics, it brought me back to 3 years ago when I was in network marketing. I'd done 900 tax returns at that point in time, and I had W-2 employees who were W-2 employees the year before, W-2 employees who owned a business the next year. And out of those 900, the average I could save them was $4,000 to $8,000 a year. And in 2008, when the economy crashed, if people would have had an extra $300 to their name, they would not have lost their house. 75% of them would not have lost their home. And they had the money. It was just being paid in taxes. So literally, when I was in a company, I'd pick up the phone and call my team when they didn't make their payment, and I'm like, hey, you gonna make your $100 payment this month, or are you gonna pay $400 to the government? Which one do you want to do? Because at the end of the day, if you don't pay your auto ship, then you're no longer in business. You're telling the IRS you're not in business, and now you owe $400 to $700 more in taxes. So if that's where you want to be, that's great. That's fine. We need W-2 employees, and I'm not knocking them. You just have to understand that there's a system that was created to steal wealth, and that is the W-2 employee system. And there was a system that was created to provide you wealth, to create wealth for you, and that's the business owner system. And the last thing I'll share with you on that is that business owners create economy. They increase sales, and what happens from there is they generate employees. And employees, somebody has to pay the taxes, and it trickles down to employees. So we're getting massive benefit by helping create more economy. That's all we're doing as business owners, and we get massive tax deductions on top of that. So I thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm thankful that people actually made it through the clicking. This is going to be better next time. I promise you, we're going to have this great video. But thank you so much for sharing your story and being a part of the first ever Why Be Brain Dead to be a network marketer.
It's my pleasure, love, and I'll be excited to continuously watch this series grow and flourish along the way. So thank you for having me.
Thanks, girl.